For generations, Chicago politics and corruption have been synonymous. But as the culture of corruption continues, can it ever be fully stopped? Here to talk about it is Ray Long. And Ray, we really appreciate you being with us this morning.
Good to be here.
I know that you had you wrote a recent article along with Gregory Pratt tackling this exact subject.
Right.
I know that corruption can be traced back to the first merchants in Chicago who settled here, but what is it about, I mean, forget the state of Illinois, that's another subject. What is it about the city that sort of fosters this corruption?
Well, of course, it's an attitude, one thing, and the attitude started early, like you were saying, and there were land swindlers at the beginning and on up through. We even had a mayoral election invalidated 7 years after the city was incorporated. So in 1844, they had to do an election again because of some questions about whether the count had been rigged or the judges at the election boxes had been unfair or maybe partial or corrupt. So it goes on up through, and then of course in modern day we've had, since the last 50 or so years, we've had nearly 40 aldermen who have gone to jail, and that is often
an astounding number.
An astounding number, yes. And so we decided we wanted to try to get to the why this is happening, and a lot of it continues to come back to the idea that there's greed, and there's also a setup here where there's a strong mayor situation, where there's a domination of mayor. Even though it's theoretically a weak mayor, strong council, it is a situation where they've kind of divided power, where the mayor runs the city and lets the aldermen do their thing, and sometimes when they're doing their thing they cross the line.
Well, and in your article it talked about, it described them as mini mayors of each ward.
Right.
So the mayor sort of lets them do their thing, also known as aldermanic prerogative or privilege, right? So let's talk about that a little bit. Former Mayor Lori Lightfoot, she came into office and effectively tried to ban aldermanic privilege. But in reality, did that actually happen?
Well, when she came in, she put in an executive order that was aimed at trying to take away the ministerial interference that all aldermen had. So if it was something that the city could handle normally, the people in the bureaucratic situations were supposed to basically handle it and not worry about the aldermen coming in and trying to twist things their way or not. But the big issue, of course, is zoning. And aldermen want to be able to have their hand on zoning because they believe they know their areas better, and even some of the ones who are viewed as strong ethics type aldermen say, look, we know it better, and City Hall is not exactly always straight up either, so it's better that we handle it than the mayor. But that's a real tangle, and that is one that it's hard for any mayor, including Lori Lightfoot, to try to overcome.
Yeah, and zoning wields a lot of power. I'm not going to get into this, but I've even done stories on an alderman who would, withhold certain permits, like little zoning permits that kept businesses from opening forever in some cases. Okay, how have things changed in the council since Mayor Brandon Johnson became mayor? He ran on this progressive agenda, et cetera, et cetera. Have things changed under him, or is it more business as usual in your opinion?
Well, it looks like he is less interested in trying to break away that whole zoning idea, and the aldermen have not had to fight him so much. But of course, Dana, they have a fight now over who is the zoning chair, and so the mayor,
that's right.
The mayor is wanting his own person, and the council wants another, and they just can't come to a conclusion as to who should be it. And Danny Solis used to be the zoning chair, and now he's the guy who is the mole in both the Ed Burke and Mike Madigan trials.
Right, which brings up another subject that we don't have time to get into, at least at this time, and that is the, being perceived as, if you snitch, you know, that's still bad. That's still code of silence, but we can't get there quite yet. But maybe we'll have you back on and we can talk more about that.
That'd be great. Always good to be here.
It's always great to see you, Ray. I mean, truly. Ray Long, of course, reporter for the Chicago Tribune. You've been on this beat for decades, and we appreciate your knowledge and insight.
You've been there too.
Yeah, that's true. You longer. Thanks so much, Ray.
Thank you.